Anti-doping agency says it will not appeal the United States' agency decision against Lance Armstrong. As funerals for the victims of that Colorado movie theater shooting continue, more information is being released on the accused shooter. A dangerous internet game involving salt and ice leaves a 12-year-old boy with second-degree burns. Post-Halloween house party in Wyoming spirals out of control. A fight spilled outside where a motorcycle driver trying to get away from police crashed and died today in Ionia County. The jury will continue deliberations this week.
Concern tonight is power lines. We're here off of Pine Avenue near the Holland Police Department, where, as you can see, crews have part of the street shut down.
Historically, these elections do not have a high voter turnout.
Investigators say they got a 911 call just after 2 o'clock. Two men about 50 yards outshore enjoying the beach started to struggle, went under, and never came back up. And they are worried. This mother of two mysteriously disappeared on Monday and hasn't been seen since. Loved ones have spent the day putting up missing person posters, hoping someone knows something. What do you want to say to anyone out there who might know any information about this?
Please just come up. My brother didn't deserve it.
National Weather Service, as you heard Peter talk about, uses Doppler radar, uses computers, but they also use the eyes on the ground. Some other breaking news to tell you about tonight. The case has been unsolved for nearly 40 years. A shooting in Muskegon late last night has police searching for a man. Are trying to pinpoint what caused a fire. It's never too late to find love and walk down the aisle. Molly Holder is 90 years old. Look how happy she is. And
Neighbors are concerned, as anyone would be who got a creepy letter like this. It would
charge the men more for pedicures.
I was going to say, what, because their feet are gross? Is that why?
At least their nails.
Conversation and good food,
That's
and
you.
I would be
That's so
worried
you.
this would ruin it.
You know, I think the restaurant was very trendy and
Right.
hip, so it's just sort of a novelty, but Grandpa getting his pancakes is not going to want to, you know, scroll
place
through
and
the
time.
iPad. If a major disaster hits our area, first responders will have their hands full.
doing their books tonight for the month and the year, and they say things are looking better.
Tragic day for an entire nation after a shooting spree this morning. Violence continuing in Libya, but many are wondering what's the end game and what are we risking by getting involved.
Javen Bradley, just 18 years old, too young to die.
But so much more than that. Tonight it really showed how people can be strong and come to
Surprised when that wind was strong enough to damage 3 of those steel structures. This public safety village will pass. Here's the deal. There's been 2 recent bomb threats in the district.
I think it's kind of a reality check for the rest of us like me who can't sing.
Not a win, and it just totally went whoosh on everything. As you can see here, I've got a piece of someone's project. This is sort of the epicenter of information, maps, everything we need to know. Investigators say he does have family in the area. He's hunted out here, so he's familiar with the territory, and that plays into this because, as you and Christian, you had 2 very bad accidents out here. There's something else out there, way out there.
Outspoken herself, but she had the support and the ear of her husband, who was the president at the time. In fact, when he was elected, he said, "I am not indebted to any man, only one woman, my dear wife," and I don't think there's any woman out there that wouldn't like to hear that. So this is certainly not a
Haiti orphans uniting with their adoptive parents from West Michigan and finally getting home as a family. Afterwards, I sat down with Officer Zapata's older brother, his only brother, who is absolutely heartbroken over what's happened.
I couldn't believe it. I heard somebody was shot, and killed. On duty.
Hours later, sitting in an empty church, Armando Zapata still can't believe that officer was his younger brother.
I'm gonna love him, and I miss him, because he was actually could have been a twin.
A guy he says would always make you laugh and keep you safe.
Everything. I mean, that guy could make me laugh anytime he wanted to. He was smart, intelligent, friendly, lovable. Everything about him was nice and great.
Eric Zapata, just 35 years old, has 3 young children. He was athletic, outgoing, loved mixed martial arts. Here he is boxing around with his son. Zapata had been a Kalamazoo police officer for 10 years, always wanted to be a cop. And Armando says he embraced every moment of it.
He loved it. He loved it. And I told him, keep on going. You love it, you love it.
People from all over Kalamazoo lit a candle for him tonight, appreciating what he did every day.
I just felt like I needed to just come and be part of the community and
this time where we all pulled together.
Good cop, and that's how he was always referred to, was a good cop.
One who will be missed.
Which means a lot. You know, he was doing his job.
In the middle of all the camouflage duffel bags and waiting, it's hard not to notice the young couple gazing and hugging, or the dad playing around with his little kids.
I know him, he's gonna go away, far away, and he's gonna come back soon.
It's hard for the unexpected to be away. It would be a long time to be away from little children.
He might miss out on Christmas and Thanksgiving and all those things, and that makes that kind of, you know, lonely.
Around 80 Marines took advantage of the little time they had left with family before getting on the bus to North Carolina, where they'll train before deploying for duty in Afghanistan.
With new gear and new equipment we have, it's still going to be a dangerous, still war, but the American people and the government has set us up very well with that.
Sergeant Jeremiah Stokes from Grand Rapids has already served overseas. As the headlines shift to the U.S. military's role in Libya, he doesn't want Americans to forget about the work still being done in Iraq and Afghanistan.
From the time we started to the time now is very positive. We are making a huge difference.
We all kind of come together because we all did the same thing. We all went to boot camp together.
It's nice to have a nice support team.
A really big circle of support for this Battle Creek dad. Then there's Lance Corporal Alex Davis, just 19, who sits and waits alone, but that doesn't seem to bother him.
I'm kind of excited, kind of nervous, but no, I want to be over there in the fight. This is what I signed up for.
They have a job to do, but first,
I'm gonna tell him goodbye.
What I've been telling everyone is it's not goodbye, it's I'll see you later.
for some, it's that last pat on the back or hug before walking away that's always the hardest.
And other than the goodbyes, everyone we talked to is really positive about this. This is composed of Reserve Marines, this unit. They live and work in Michigan. A lot of them are local, Grand Rapids, Battle Creek, Hastings, and they will go, their buses left today, they'll go to North Carolina for training, and then late summer, early fall, leave for Afghanistan, which, as we know, that's the real goodbye.
Yeah.
That's when it's really hard.
They still have a lot of work to do at training camp and everything.
They do, extensive training, and also they don't.
Metal twisted up here is a pretty large structure. Wood pieces could be found half a mile away, scattered through the farm. Luckily, no one was hurt, but it did stir up the turkeys and the neighbors. Dark clouds rolled in, and just like that,
so all of a sudden this loud noise. I thought, this doesn't sound good.
I told my son, come out here. I said, hey, it's rotating. And it was shortly after that, about a half a minute, we could hear the freight train sound like they always say.
Neighbors in Salem Township watch as the winds rip through their backyards.
Pretty scared for about 15 seconds, but then it was over.
But it was strong enough to move this family's camper.
I looked out the window after everything was kind of settled down. The boys were crying, and Jonathan actually looked out and said, my camper! So we just got it.
And shave off the sides of a nearby barn.
That bucket truck's holding up 2 walls right now. That's going to slow me down a little bit.
No worries. Rob Miller's daughter's goats survived the storm just fine. Across the farm, the damage was a little more extensive.
We looked out this side of the road and saw that turkey barn down,
leaving these guys with no place to go.
There's about 5,000 turkeys running loose right now, as far as I know. So
might want to round those up, right?
They're working on it.
Yes, they are. See, this is what happens when thousands of turkeys need to be moved. Something of a group effort.
They were in that barn, which went down, so they're trying to move her into that barn, because that barn is so damaged. And I don't know what they're going to do by the big ones in the fire barn, because there's no room for them. So I don't know. Hopefully they can shift them.
Quite a sight to watch. I haven't seen anything like that before.
Well, in less than 2 months, the air will be clearing. Michigan's bars and restaurants, most public places, will go smoke-free for good. This smoking ban has one group pretty fired up tonight, and they're doing something about it. Fox 17's Abigail